Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sam with two M's. Today we're going to play a game called Buried. Buried is an interactive story. I guess it's sort of a choose your own adventure type game. Oh yeah, see, it's going to go ahead and explain that to us right now. Let's see. 5 chapters, play straight through or at your own pace. There's no waiting and no pauses. No pauses, alright. Enjoy and choose wisely. I love these kinds of games. Ooh. It's like a Dolby Atmos in here, alright. Now this is really neat. Okay, I open my eyes and the first thing I want to do is scream. I'm flat on my back and everything seems to hurt. The trees overhead look familiar. It's a clear night sky, almost beautiful, except for the fact that this means I've been out cold for at least 6 hours. But there's something wrong. I don't remember what, but something happened, and my head, my God, my head hurts. And a ringing in my ears. Was there an accident? An explosion, I think. I remember Dennis screaming, but after that, I can't remember. As I sit up, I notice that my hard hat has been thrown off. I look around the area, but it's not here. It feels strange to go anywhere without my hard hat, but I've got to find the other members of the crew. They could be in danger. Alright, so we've got a choice here. We're going to either search for our hat or forget the hat, search for the crew. Well, before I get into it, actually, I'd like to talk about this whole situation here, because I've played a lot of text adventure type games like this, but I'm loving, 1, the pictures in the background, and 2, this atmospheric music. It adds dimension to the game. Not the kind of dimension that you're used to, maybe, where you can move around as a character and stuff, but it's definitely more immersive. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and move on then. And forget the hat. Let's look for our crew. I'm sure that's not a good idea, but okay. I decide my hat can wait until I figure out what's going on. I get up and take a look around the logging site. I smell something burning and don't hear any engines running. Wait, something isn't right. Was it the bulldozer? Maybe the damn thing overheated for the last time. Maybe the engine finally blew. What a mess. Well, maybe I'm jumping to conclusions. Only one way to find out, I guess. I walk over to the center of the logging site and don't like what I see. Okay, well, let's find out what we see. Boy. I wonder if this is original art for this game. The logging site looks like a bomb was detonated right in the center. I don't know where to start. The one load we had managed to stack on a truck for the day is overturned. The trailer bent and the logs hanging off the back. Where the hell is everyone? My head is killing me and this ringing in my ears. I can't hear anything. Not birds, not my footsteps, nothing. It makes me wonder if I hit my head after my hard hat flew off. Fucking fat lot of good that did you. I run through a quick mental checklist to make sure my brain is still working. My name is Roger Hastings. I'm 41 years old. The year's 2017. I own a small logging company and we've been logging in this strip of Kentucky woodland for almost a month now. Okay, so my brain works. That's a relief, but it also makes me fearful because something is certainly not right here. I look around the logging site, my mind trying to figure out what has happened. Just about every piece of equipment has been overturned or tilted. Alright, look at the debris or look at the truck. Let's see. It's funny that he just runs through this information and assumes that his brain works because, for all you know, that could have happened, 10 years ago. If you really hit your head hard, you might not remember that. You might not remember exactly what the modern day looks like. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna look at the debris. Let's look at the truck. Let's go ahead and look at the truck. The truck, the hitch is completely broken, like it was blown off in an explosion or a really bad accident. Had there been an explosion, all the fuel on site would have started a fire, but there's no charring, no burning, nothing. I walked through the area where Dennis had been working, From the looks of it, he'd been moving slowly. He'd only taken down 4 trees today. His metal lunchbox is open, an indicator that he had been taking an early break. But he's not here. No one is here. Where the hell is everyone? I could try to make a call on my cell phone, but its battery is already running really low. Not that it matters, the reception is crap out here. Oh, I was gonna say anyway, but they didn't actually bother that. Alright, so I could yell out or I could call someone on my cell. I wish it would tell you who he was planning to call, because that might change my opinion on the matter. Well, if we yell out, we could attract the attention of monsters if that's going to be an issue in this game. Or... Well, I'm curious to see. I feel like it wouldn't give me this option if it was just going to be like, nothing happened, so let's see what happens if we try to call. Pull out my cell and try to make a call to Frank. It rings and rings and then just goes to his voicemail. Before I can leave a message, my phone goes dead. Oh, useful. Great, I hope I don't need my phone anytime soon. Might as well start walking. God damn it. Okay, that would have been a resource later is what I'm hearing. The highway is almost a mile back through the woods down the gravel road we used to reach the site. Maybe the crew ran that way for help. But why would they have left me? Were they scared, out of sorts? Maybe I can catch up to them. But with my truck turned over on its side, it looks like I'll be walking. My god, I can't even remember what I was doing before waking up on my back. Wait, what's that underneath the bulldozer? Oh my god, it's a leg. It has to be either Tony or Dennis. The dozer looks unstable, like it might roll some more. Might not be safe to get close, but at the same time, I can't just leave him there. Go look or stay back. It's unstable. Might not be safe to get close. You know what? Since we opted out of taking our hard hat, I'm gonna stay back. That would be unsafe. There's no use putting myself at risk. That thing could tumble again. It's pretty clear that he didn't survive. Damn, he had 2 kids too, both sons. In my shock, I stumble back, suddenly tripping over a stray log behind me. Bang my head hard, god damn it, on one of the logs as I fall. Instantly, I can feel a massive lump forming and a small drip of warm blood. Damn, why wasn't I wearing my helmet? But what hurts more is the realization that Tony is dead. I can't stay here. I have to find Dennis, Frank, and Joe. I have to find out what happened here. Alright, well, let's continue, I guess. Got nothing else to do. Should've got my damn hat, motherfucker. Alright, well, if I play through a second time, and I probably will, because this is really interesting, I'm gonna get my hat. As I walk through the stacks of logs from the last week or so of work, everything feels frozen. This high-pitched sound in my ears, it's terrible. It keeps happening every few seconds, and sounds like it's coming from far away. Can't help but wonder, is it my ears, or is it something else? The silence out here is creepy, and there's a smell like the atmosphere after a bad summer storm. I might as well admit it, I'm a little scared. Everyone is missing, and it's dead quiet out here. There doesn't even seem to be a breeze to rustle leaves and branches. My right knee hurts like hell. My head was hurting so bad before that I never even noticed the pain in my knee. I must have heard it during the what? Accident? Or... Wait, is that Dennis? I see him sitting on the ground motionless about 30 feet away. Okay, well, we're not gonna yell just in case there might be some monsters. We're gonna walk up to him. He's just sitting there, not moving. I walk up slowly next to him. Dennis, hey man, can you hear me? I tap him on the shoulder. He looks up at me from the ground, clearly coming out of a daze. Yeah, Roger, I hear you, he says. Dennis is built like a wrestler and has the tough personality to match. But in this moment, he looks disoriented and even a little anxious. Though I'm glad to see him, the fear on his usually confident face is alarming. Well, who wouldn't be scared after this shit? What the hell happened? What's going on? He asked. Don't know, the crew is missing or an explosion, I think. Well, we have reason to believe it's not an explosion, so I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Let's see. Missing, Dennis says. Where do you think they went? I'm not sure, I say, but it has me pretty freaked out. Something's not right here. Still sitting on the ground, he looks around the woods as if he is just now understanding the severity of the situation. The equipment was overturned, the dozers too, I say, wiping my forehead. You okay? I ask him. Yeah, just shaken up. Me too. This might be the most intimate conversation Dennis and I have ever had. While he and I have always been on good terms, we've never been particularly close. I've always respected him, though. Sure, he's come to work a few times looking like he'd been in a bar fight the night before, but I've also seen him do an enthusiastic impression of a dinosaur as he played with Tony's kids while they waited for their dad to finish up his shift. It's then that it hits me. Dennis and Tony were good friends. I'm not sure I want to rattle him with the news of Tony's death right now. Not before we know what's going on, but he has the right to know. You know, I never really think it's a good policy to omit it. You're gonna let Dennis deal with it in the way that he wants to, so we're gonna tell him. Ooh. Did a bomb just drop? You were upfront with Dennis about Tony. Okay, apparently that mattered. Dennis's eyes fixate on me, startled. He was crushed under the dozer, I say. Dennis pauses for a moment like he's trying to understand what I said. His eyes narrow and his bottom lip quivers. Shit, he says, and I can tell that he is fighting back tears. He and Tony had been tight, almost like brothers. Hey, he adds quickly, as if trying to escape the reality of Tony's death. Did you see that light? No, I say. What did you see? I don't even know, Roger, he says. It was like this flare of white light. It came right up out of the ground like an explosion. So there was an explosion, I say. Maybe it was some equipment or... This was no equipment, Dennis interrupts, agitated. This huge ball of light came up right out of the damn ground. All right. What did it look like or where did it go? He just told you it was a damn light. What do you mean? What did it look like? Let's see. Where did it go? Just shot up into the sky until it was out of sight. When? I'm not sure, he answers, but I had finished about 10 trees for the day and was about to top one. That's when it happened. You're almost done with 10 trees, I ask? Yeah, he says, looking at the ground. You know, I wouldn't want to take a lunch break until I was done. And that's when that light blew up. Why? You don't believe me? Huh. No, I believe you. Think you're exaggerating? Why would that even matter right now? Why would you care if he was exaggerating about how many trees he cut down, please? Doesn't not even matter. I believe you. Apparently that also mattered. Okay. Quit pawing at me. Okay. He saw what he saw, I think to myself. He has no reason to lie about this. My God, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, he says, but if I'm being honest, it scared me pretty bad. If it's all the same to you, I'd like to get the hell out of here. We both stand up and start heading towards the road. It isn't until we start moving that I see Dennis is wounded. His right side is coated in blood, the red seeping through his blue work shirt. There are splatters of it here and there, but also a very large red splotch that makes me worry. Are you in a lot of pain? How'd you get that injury? I'm guessing I... Stop pawing at me. You know it's not dinner time yet. You see this damn cat. He loves to keep me company. Back it up, bro. Now, stop. I need to cut his nails. He's really jabbing me. Alright. I'm gonna ask him if he's in pain. I've been better. I don't know how much longer I can stay on my feet, he says. What happened? I ask. I'm not sure, Dennis replies. I must have gotten thrown or hurt somehow from that light. It's then that I notice that the strange ringing noise is still filling the air. Hey, I say, stopping, do you hear that high-pitched ringing noise every once in a while? Dennis looks scared when I ask him this question, and he just nods. I thought it was just me, he says. He looks out of sorts and uncertain. I've never seen him like this before. It's obvious that he's looking for some reassurance. Even though I'm his boss, there's something very unnerving about this. Well, be okay. It's probably nothing. It's freaking me out. You know what? I'm gonna try to be reassuring. I am his boss, so... Let's not give him more reasons to panic. Let's be realistic, I tell myself. I might as well try to be empathetic. Good policy in an emergency. Out here in the middle of these woods, the ringing could be anything. Maybe a car alarm from through the woods or something. Still, even my passive comment seems to have reassured Dennis. He looks a bit calmer, more relaxed. Cool. We both start moving forward and don't say another word. Did you try to call Frank? Dennis asks. I know he had his cell on him today. I can't, I say, cursing myself. I used up my battery trying to call you earlier. What? But we called Frank. Yeah, we called Frank, didn't we? I'm gonna have to go back and look at that footage, but I'm pretty sure we called Frank. It's then that I notice something that makes me stop. A 10-foot wide hole in the ground. But there's no stray piles of removed dirt or rocks. It's clean, smoothly dug, cutting into the earth. Wide, but only a few feet deep. It looks unnatural, like the ground was just deleted. No shovels or diggers used. Dennis walks over to it. This looks like the same kind of hole where I saw that light come from the ground, he muses to himself. I say nothing. My mind is spinning, but I don't know what to think. We need to get out of here, Dennis mutters. At that moment, that ringing noise carries through the forest again, sending a shiver down my spine. Dennis is right. There's something strange going on. We might not be safe here. But that ringing sound could be a clue to where the rest of the crew went. You know what? I don't care. Let's get the fuck out of here. Agreed. Let's get away from here. We can send help later. Oh, you decided to avoid the sound. That mattered, apparently. With that, we turn and start walking to the west in the direction that I'm pretty certain leads to the road. Ooh, this is drawing me out a little bit. Sorry. Whew. I just want everyone to know that right now my air conditioner is broken and it's 86 degrees in the house right now. It's very hot in here. Please stop pawing at me. It's not food time yet. Not for another hour at least. Back up. Okay, let's continue. I'm actually home today waiting for an air conditioning technician that never showed up, so all of my California people, you can probably guess how I feel about that. It's sort of embarrassing. I have been a logger for nearly 15 years, but I'm finding it easy to get lost in these woods. The trees are so thick in places that the moonlight doesn't even reach the ground. It's easy to get turned around. My only hope is that I can find the overgrown dirt road that will lead us back to the highway. You're sure we're headed the right way? Dennis asks. Pretty sure, I say. I turn to him and see that he's clearly in pain. It's at this moment that we come upon another one of those smooth holes. This one is even stranger because a nearby tree also has a chunk cut out of it. The arc goes smoothly through the ground and then up through the trunk, like a cartoon wrecking ball blasted through both of them. What the hell are these things? Dennis whispers to himself. He takes a step down into the hole, his boots creating imperfections in the shape like footprints on a sand dune. You don't go on the table, Mac. Get down. Cats. Alright. Let's see. So are we going to step down into it or walk around the perimeter? I don't want to go in it. If something came up out of it, I definitely don't want to go in it. We're going to walk around the hole. I walk along the edge, each step sending pebbles down into the hole and ruining its perfect shape. I'm amazed at how smooth it is. Even rocks that were under the earth have been sheared to fit the spherical shape. But as I'm noticing this, I notice Dennis's feet start to sag. Dennis, get out! I start, but I don't finish. Before he can react, the ground is giving way and he's falling. I try to step back, but the fissure that opens up disintegrates the ground beneath my feet as well. I cry out in surprise and can barely hear Dennis letting out a curse as we go down into the earth. God damn it. Dennis is an idiot. I never would have done that. I'm gonna chalk that up to all the blood loss. 'Cause that was stupid. Oh look, Hollow Earth. Okay. God, I love the music. The fall isn't a long one, but when I hit something a few seconds later, it hurts like hell. God damn it, I should have grabbed my hat. The wind goes rushing out of me when I hit, and a sharp pain flies through me. What the hell, I say once my breath is back. Beside me, Dennis is slowly rolling over to get to his feet. I look up and see the hole in the ground where we fell through. It looks to be about 10 feet over our heads. It's completely dark, but there's a small flicker of light further into the cave ahead of us, and a solid wall of rock behind us. Looks like the only ways out are further down the cave or up through the way we fell in. Dennis might be able to boost me up there, but with his injury, I'm not sure how stable he is. He might drop me. I am not gonna do that. You're just gonna fall right back in, or you're not gonna be able to get Dennis out. So let's go ahead and just head into the cave. Plus, God, imagine asking a guy who's got a big old wound in his gut to ask you, or to boost you. Wrestler or no, I decide we better not risk hurting ourselves trying to climb out. Exactly. As we turn to head into the cave, I take a closer look at the light further ahead and realize it's artificial. We both start heading towards it instinctively. As we step into the light, panic gently gnaws at me because what I'm seeing makes absolutely no sense. It's no longer a cave or a hole, it's a long, sparsely lit corridor. Uh-oh. Secret government experiments. Or corporate. Either way, neither one's your friend. Let's see. It's a massive corridor, in fact. It seems to go on forever. The corridor is mostly dark with emergency lights every 10 feet or so. I turn to my left and see that there's a door which appears to lead upwards to the outside, but it's locked tight. I push as hard as I can, but no luck. Dennis, help me with this, I say. He comes over and we both try to kick the door open, but it doesn't budge. For some reason, someone doesn't want people getting out of here. Looks like we're headed down the hallway. Alright, tiptoe quietly or walk quickly. We're gonna tiptoe. I'm not really down with being obvious. I feel like a ghost. I truly have no business being here. Dennis leans on me for support. We move slowly, our feet not making a sound. If anyone is in here, I want to make sure they don't hear us. We tiptoe forward as softly as we can. As I carry Dennis to the far end of this otherwise featureless place, I see a flight of concrete stairs leading down. I have to set Dennis on the floor. His weight is killing me. Dennis, are you okay? Stop worrying, man, he says. I'll be okay. I just need a minute to rest. But looking at him, I'm not so sure. I can still hear the ringing noise every so often coming from somewhere in here. I look ahead at the concrete stairs, pointing towards them so that Dennis sees them. Can you make it down those stairs? I ask. Why would you want to go down? He stands up slowly and is visibly making an effort to not fall back down. Yeah, he says, and sounds a little irritated. He starts for the stairs without me, and I have no choice but to follow. We approach the stairs, and by just looking at him, I get the sense that we're crossing some sort of line here. There may very well be no going back. Okay. As I head down the stairs, I notice that they look aged. That damned ringing noise is somewhere below, louder than ever. I feel like I'm walking down into the cellar of a haunted house, the light becoming scarce as the stairs take a slight turn. I can feel the temperature drop. Dennis makes it just a few steps down before he is leaning on the wall. He's breathing like he just finished a marathon. Alright, I'm gonna give him a break. Dude's dying. Let's take a break, I say, putting my hands towards his shoulder to help steady him. Dennis lets out a sigh. Thanks, I don't feel too great, boss. As we both squat down on the stair, my mind seems to lock in on the unknown fate of the rest of my crew. Frank is married and I've met his wife a few times, a nice woman with a huge laugh. My heart sags a bit when I realize I might never again get to hear him belting out classic rock tunes during lunch break. Joe, well, I don't know too much about him. He's 22 years old and is considering community college. His folks are deadbeats, so he has been providing for himself since the age of 16 or so. Lame. Maybe I can still find them and still get to hear Frank singing in his deep baritone voice after a few too many drinks. After a few moments, Dennis says, "Alright, let's keep going." We both stand up, leaning on each other. I have to make Dennis stay behind me as I stick my foot out in search of the next step. Can't help feeling like a child as a very powerful fear seizes me. I'm expecting a monster to reach out of the darkness, slicing into my throat. After what feels like forever, we come to the bottom of the stairs. We're closer to that ringing noise now. The door sits securely in the wall. It looks just as out of place down here as I feel. A sliver of light seeps through, illuminating the area. The door has what looks like a panel with lots of labels and lights. Small embossed print above the panel says Level 01 Entrance Gate, Transport Sector, and there's a button with no label. Push the button or inspect the panel. Well, we just inspected the panel, so I'm just going to go ahead and push the button. Hit it. Hit the button. I give the button a push. One of the readings on the panel flickers to life, alright? Outage. That's all it says. It then goes dark. Great. The panel looks like a diagnostic or alert system of some kind, each label meant to communicate some status. Lockdown engaged, experiment in progress, shutdown engaged. Those all appear to be off, but one of the phrases has a slow blinking red light next to it, the only powered light on this whole thing. Abnormal entity breach. What the hell? I slowly push the door open when Dennis suddenly steps in front of me, taking the lead. "Let's go," he says. "I want to find out what the hell this place is." As Dennis walks through, that ringing or beeping or whatever it is gets a little louder. The door closes behind us with a click. I can't help but notice the wobble in Dennis's step as he lets out a grunt. "You sure you're healthy enough to keep going?" I ask. "Doesn't matter. I don't want to be in the woods right now." He seems scared, something I've never seen before. Angry, yes. Upset, yes. But Dennis is never scared. "What did you see? What's so dangerous?" "Alright. What did you see? Well, we know what he saw. I don't know what that's referring to. And what's so dangerous? These are both stupid questions. I'm just gonna say, what did you see?" Keep him talking. "I don't know what it was, boss. It was like someone had left a radio on, crackling, but we don't have any radios at the site. I don't know. It was like something in the forest was moving." I give him a doubtful look and he casts his eyes to the ground, frustrated. "I know how it sounds," he says, "but I know what I felt. It was like walking into a funeral parlor, feeling death and gloom everywhere. I've been so preoccupied with my own fear that I nearly forgot about the ringing noise. It had just become background noise." We take a few more steps and I can now see where we are. It makes no sense, yet another thing that simply seems out of place. The shapes and muted colors of metal are easy to identify, but it just doesn't belong here. End of chapter 1. Alright. Next. Man, all that was chapter 1. This might be a long episode. Okay, respect the dead. You and 36% of players left Tony's body where you found it. Secrets. You and 76% of players were upfront with Dennis about Tony's death. Good. Trust. You and 55% told Dennis you believed his story. Curiosity. You and 25% of players ran away from the ringing sound. Okay, so 25% of us are not idiots. Good to know. Chapter 2. Maybe I'll just do up to chapter 2. I'll come back to this, in a later episode. Boy, I'm loving the imagery here. We're standing on the thin platform of what looks like a fancy subway. The rails look well used, but not old. There are small overhead lights that are very dim, as if they are running on emergency power. The dim overhead lights are a blessing, but the size of the place makes me feel vulnerable. Staring ahead, the tunnel seems to be endless. It's almost dizzying. But there's a small light further ahead and a space that breaks the monotony of the tunnel's curved surface. Another platform. The ringing noise is louder down here. It's much more solid now, and there's some other sound, something like the faint hum of machinery. What's your take on this, boss? You think we're safe here, Dennis asks. Not at all. This is what I think to myself, but I don't want to let Dennis see that I'm rattled. While he seems to be limping along much better than when we first stumbled into this place, he's still in rough shape. I'm leading him here, and I should probably make him feel confident in that. I'm not sure. This is creepy. Yeah, we'll be fine. I mean, on one hand, I want to be honest, but on the other hand, it's probably in our best interest for, I don't know. Whatever. We'll be fine. Oh, the ball just dropped. You reassured? Dennis. Aw, okay, well, that was probably good. We're too far in to go back, I say. Besides, if we get caught for trespassing, I'm pretty sure we'd slide by. We're good. You're in pain, and we've got to find the rest of our crew. They could still be here somewhere. Dennis nods and looks reassured, albeit weak and miserable. From the looks of it, we can either go left or right. The left is slightly lit, the right not so much. This makes me uneasy because I get the sense that one wrong turn in a place like this would have us wandering for hours. Suddenly, I jerk my head to the right as I hear the unmistakable sound of someone walking. Did you hear something? I asked Dennis, my eyes straining to see anything in the darkness. Not sure, he says. Maybe. It kind of sounded like footsteps. I wait a moment, but the sound doesn't come again. So those are our options. To the left are flickering lights indicating that we'll at least be able to see. There's also a hum of machinery, a sign of life. To the right is just darkness, but we also heard footsteps in that direction. Footsteps could very well be monsters, so let's go ahead and go towards the light. Maybe somebody else matters. Oh no, I accidentally went into the darkness. Whoops. If there's anyone here they're worth speaking to, right it is. God damn it. No, go back. Oh no. Well, we're fucked. We're fucked. Boy, now I'm gonna have to be all stressed out about all my decisions from here forward. It's just like when I fucking didn't pick up my hat. If I play again, I'm picking up the hat. As we leave the glow of electric lights, things instantly start to feel a bit more sinister. Great. I look at Dennis's injuries again. The gash along his side is inflamed now, and while the bleeding seems to have stopped, the amount that has soaked into his pants and shirt is beyond alarming. How much further can you walk? I ask him. Can you keep going? Yes, Dennis says. Let's walk into the deep, dark tunnel that has no business being here. He's right. The darkness we find ourselves in feels thick, like walking in syrup. I am reminded of the fear I felt as a child when I had to go into the basement to fetch tools for my dad. I was sure there were snakes or spiders or monsters of unimaginable horror lurking down there. I feel that same way here walking through the tunnel. That's when I see a human figure far back in the tunnel, silhouetted in the faint light at the end. He's standing on some other platform up ahead and likely can't see us. It looks like he might be holding a gun, but it's too dark to be sure. Hey, who's there, or stay quiet? I feel like staying quiet, we're gonna creep up on him and he might shoot us. So let's just go ahead and announce our presence. I don't know. Because we might want to avoid him if he's armed. Oh, it's hard to say. Man, if I'd only gone the right direction. Well, fuck it. Let's make contact. My voice echoes through the tunnel, bouncing endlessly off the walls. The figure turns towards us and freezes, like a deer sensing danger. Why the hell did you do that? Dennis whispers to me. We don't know who that is. We don't know where we are. You know what? That's true. I don't know, I say. Maybe he can answer some questions. But that doesn't happen. The person can't see us in the dark, and after a moment, the figure rushes away through a door up ahead. How can you see that? They can't see you, but you can see that? And the light should be behind us, so... Alright. Further into the tunnel, we reach another platform. There's light coming from the platform, but like the overhead lights, they are dim, red emergency lights. I start to wonder if the explosion at the logging site caused a power outage in this place, whatever this place is. The ringing noise that I originally thought was in my head is getting louder. I'm starting to think it's some sort of alarm. When we come to the large open area ahead in the tunnel, it further resembles a subway station. As much as I try to ignore the reality, it's undeniable. We have stumbled into some sort of high-tech transportation system that is buried beneath the forests of Kentucky. It makes absolutely no sense. It creates an entirely new sort of fear as to what the hell we have walked into. I notice that Dennis seems confident, though. When we reach the large opening, we have to climb over the rails and up onto the platform. I have to help Dennis over the rails and then up the small utility ladder that is bolted into the opposite side of the travelway. When he reaches the large open area resembling a subway waiting area, he collapses on the floor and lets out a heaving breath. You know what? Dennis says, exasperated. This is ridiculous. I quit. I'm not going any further. On top of worrying about my crew and the madness of wherever we are, I'm not in the mood for Dennis to act like a baby. Get up, pull it together, Dennis. It's okay, take it easy, you can do this. Ugh. I'm not gonna talk shit to a man who's bleeding to death, trying to help me investigate. This man is not acting like a baby, he's acting like a dying man. I would do the exact same thing, and I don't even know if I would have gone this far. In his condition, I would have been fucking sitting on that log. Good luck, bud. I hope you fucking find what you're looking for. Have fun, Roger. Alright, well, I'm gonna be gentle then. It's okay. Take it easy. You can do this. I'm not the one with a gash in my side, I think to myself, so I decide to cut him some slack. Yeah, shut the fuck up, Roger. Damn, boss, I'm sorry. It's okay, I say. I don't know how you're still on your feet, if I'm being honest. Stubbornness, he says with a weak laugh. You need a minute to rest, I ask as warmly as I can muster. No, if I sit down to rest, I'm afraid I might not get back up. Let's keep going while I can still go. I reach down, help him to his feet, and then we get ourselves up onto the platform. Right in front of us, there's an entrance to a long hallway exiting the platform area. It's at this point that I realize these red emergency lights might be on for someone else who was actually supposed to be here. Like that guy I saw earlier standing on the platform. So do we want to yell out or stay quiet? Well, last time he ran from us, so let's stay quiet and see if we can catch him. I'm still not sure if I want to alert anyone to the fact that there are strangers in this secret place. And the thought of hearing a scream, even my own scream, in this empty place is too much to bear. The emergency lights continue to flicker overhead, casting a sick sort of pinkish light on everything. My mind is racing with what sort of place this might be. It's obvious that it's meant to be a secret. And if it is supposed to be a secret, and there was a power outage recently, maybe most everyone has been evacuated. But then, why was that one person still here? This thought does nothing to make me feel any better as we walk towards the platform exit. We step inside and it seems just as empty as every other place we've come through, weakly illuminated by more overhead emergency lights. We're standing inside a hallway that looks surreal for a moment. Alright, we're gonna continue. Next. Let's see here. The hallway reminds me of a hospital wing, but there's something not quite right about it. It's the first clean and tidy area I've seen since coming to in the woods. It looks like it was recently in use, despite the dim emergency lights overhead. There are chairs against the walls, and the floor looks well cleaned, as do the walls. The ringing noise is definitely coming from here, and a small flashing red light along the ceiling seems to flash along with it. I think it's funny that I ran away from the noise, and here we go, going right towards it. That ringing noise is an alarm, I say, if only to confirm my own thought. But for what? Dennis asks, and then he asks the question that has been on my mind since we fell in the hole. What the hell is this place? We exchange a look that speaks volumes. We reach the end of the hallway and hear a sound like a large metallic grinding. This is followed by a clicking noise and then the unmistakable noise of a generator kicking on. Okay. Quit your barking. Song change. Let's see. Without warning, the facility jumps to life. The red glow of the emergency lights is suddenly replaced by bright white fluorescent ones. The mechanical hum is oddly comforting. Somehow the power being back on urges us on, excuse me. It's then that I notice the ringing noise has stopped. So it had been an alarm, but for what? Just the power failure? We head down the hallway, the electric hum of the lights sounding eerie overhead. Other than that, the place is dead quiet. The hall is about 100 feet long with two main doors. One door opens onto a large room that looks like a conference room with a whiteboard and papers strewn about. Across the hallway, another door looks like a laboratory of some sort. Dennis slumps against the wall in defeat and lets out a scary-sounding chuckle. Something funny, I ask, as a dark and brooding panic starts to grip me. Dennis just keeps chuckling as he slides down to the floor. I'm just gonna sit here while you look around, he says. There's a look in his eyes that reminds me far too much of a dead animal on the side of the road. So we're going to enter the conference room or the lab. Oh, good, I can scroll up. So let's see. What would I rather do based on the information I've got? Whiteboard and papers. Well, that could give us... You know, I'm more likely to understand what's in there sixth cause of death, embolism or aneurysm, or both. Ideas for new delivery mode, spherical liquid-induced comatose state first. TerraCore Company, possible plutonium supplier. Alright, let's look at the papers. Huh. Some nuclear shit. Alright, most of the papers and printouts have codes and equations that go way over my head. But there are also handwritten notes that don't make me feel any better about our situation. I read through them and see scrawled notes that say things like, last experiment failed, overdose before transport. Levels indicate cellular catabolism. Question marks, more lead shielding in export suits. Measurements make no sense. Let Barksdale know about possible Higgs field fix. Outside in the hallway, I hear Dennis grunting. I head out of the room to see him still seated on the floor, but I don't get very far because as I exit, a man comes rushing around the corner with an automatic rifle in his hand. Alright. This music sounds like bad fucking news. Alright. It's hard to look beyond his rifle, but the man carrying it is young with messy dark hair. Harry Potter. His skin is so pale that I wonder if maybe he lives down here. He has the look of a guy who's been cooped up for a little too long. He doesn't seem like the kind of person I'd trust with a gun in a stressful situation. As he sees us in the doorway, he screams and brings the gun up. It is aimed directly at my head. Dennis jumps up and stands next to me like he's ready to run for it. I recognize him by his height and build. He's the person I could barely see back in that dark tunnel. Alright, hands up in the air or try to attack. I'm gonna put my hands up. You don't want to run at a guy who's got a gun aimed at you. He's stupid. Put my hands in the air, surprised at how natural it feels to go into this surrendered state. Maybe it's because this feels like a dream. Maybe it's because I feel like I'll snap awake if the maniac pulls the trigger. Who are you and how'd you get down here? The man asks harshly. Before we can answer, he continues speaking. I don't recognize you. If you're here, you would have had to sneak by the security mics in the entrance hall. What? I ask, unable to think of anything else to say. Who are you? The man asked. Did you do this? The man eyes us both, and I sense something in his eyes that unsettles me. He's scared, but there's something else. Alright, we're just loggers. That's the truth. His eyes look distant for a minute, and then he says, bullshit. But for some reason, I am pretty sure he knows I'm telling the truth. Someone knocked the power out, the man says. It's back on now, but if it was out long enough, well, we're in a heap of trouble. Alright, was it you? Who sent you? Look, we don't know what you're talking about, Dennis says. Something happened out in the woods. Are you alone or are there others with you? The armed man asked, thrusting the gun in my face. You're fucking rude. How the hell did we get in this situation? I think to myself. If we hadn't fallen in that hole, we wouldn't be here. Yeah, Dennis. We wouldn't be here. Fucking son of a bitch. I'm not really sure if we want to be giving this guy information. We don't know anything about him. Then again, he might have answers. You know, yeah, let's be honest about this, because, if he's a little trigger happy and we run into other members of the crew, he's going to look at us like, I thought you said you were alone. So let's go ahead and just let him know we're looking for our crew. We have other crew members that we can't find, I say. Your crew? He asks, seeming confused. This man thinks that we're nuts. There's no telling what he might do. The fact that he looks a little crazy himself makes the situation even hairier. But how'd you get in here? The man asks. I point down the hall towards the subway. We came in that way. The doors weren't locked. His expression calms a bit, but I'm still very aware of the gun that is leveled less than a foot away from my face. Please put the gun down. Yeah, I'm gonna ask him. Don't grab a gun. You ask the man calmly. Okay, yeah. The only way I'm putting this rifle down is after I've blown your brains out, the man said. Oh, you're stable. With that, he sticks the muzzle of the gun in my face. It's a childish move, a playground tactic at best, but it's sufficient to show me that he knows he's in control now. He then levels the rifle at Dennis, and I can only assume it's because his wounds make him appear to be the weaker of us. The man takes a shaky step forward. Dennis looks back and forth between the barrel of the gun and me, his eyes pleading for help. Step between Dennis and the gun. There's no way. No way. Before I'm fully aware of what I'm doing, I step out in front of Dennis. You will shoot me first, absolutely. The barrel of the rifle is nearly touching my chest now. Both Dennis and the man seem a little confused at my action, and I do my best to swallow down my own fear. I don't know what's going on here, I say, but we are here by mistake. Well, you have no business here, the man says, but now that the power's on, I think you might be too late anyway. For what? I ask. But he doesn't answer me. Instead, he steps forward and actually pushes me backward with the end of his rifle. The man then repeats a question he asked before, one that makes no sense and honestly makes me think he might be a little crazy. Who sent you? He asks. You assholes from the Pentagon? I'm not quite sure how to take this question. Is this guy joking? No, what the hell are you talking about? Yeah, I'm the president. Let's not get fresh with him. sniping fresh with the dude with the gun. No, I say, we're just loggers. Something blew up and my friend got hurt. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Likely story, the man says, but I see a flicker of recognition in his face that makes me think he might believe me. Still, his grip on the gun is as tight as ever. The look on his face makes me think he'll shoot at any moment. Man, I'm gonna kill this guy the first opportunity I get. You both just stand still, he says. Sooner or later, someone will come along and I'll turn you over. He again thrusts the gun forward, as if it has an invisible bayonet on it. There's no need for that, I tell him. I have no guarantee that he won't pull the trigger. Look, Dennis says, we don't want any trouble. We're just as confused as you are. Then, in a movement so fast that I just about miss it, Dennis lunges forward. Oh, god damn it, Dennis. I have no idea how he is moving so fast. Just 30 seconds ago, I was worried about how close to death he looked. But now he's moving lightning fast, his left arm coming down on the barrel of the gun like a club. In the commotion, the man does pull the trigger. The booming noise is deafening, and there's a moment where I think I've been hit. It takes the clanging noise of the round tearing into the floor at my feet to help me realize that I have not been shot. I look at the floor and see where the shot missed my right leg by less than 3 inches. I'm paralyzed, in shock for a moment, as Dennis and the man fight over possession of the rifle. God damn it, Dennis. The fire extinguisher on the wall I could use as a bludgeon, but I might not have enough time to grab it before Dennis is overpowered. Grab fire extinguisher or come back or punch him. You know what, he's a little guy, I'm gonna punch him. Dennis has the man pinned to the floor, but isn't strong enough to keep him down. As I fall to the floor to help, the barrel of the rifle swings right in front of my face, a reminder of how close I had come to being shot. On my knees now, I deliver a hard, stiff punch to the man's face. I don't punch someone often. Never really, I'm not usually the brawling type. Still, it is apparently effective. Man's head snaps back hard and his grip on the gun loosens. Dennis grabs the gun and falls to the floor, clearly winded and in pain. Our attacker is immobilized and I can feel a shift in the situation. Yet, although he is basically harmless now, I feel the need to pummel him, a desire that builds with each second I look at him. Me in too, motherfucker. Oh, man. I feel like a dick making good on that promise so quickly. He really didn't, he's a huge asshole, and I can see him being a problem later as we go on if we leave him. But on the other hand, he hasn't really done anything up to this point that really warrants a murder. And that might not look good for me if I'm trying to get help from the people running this facility that I murdered one of their buds. But he's going to be a huge liability to keep around. Okay. Boy, this decision shouldn't be that tough, you know. These are desperate times, but you know what? I'm going to step back. I don't want to be too crazy. But wait. You took it easy on the man. Oh, good. He's definitely out now. No threat, or at least that's what I think. But he surprised me by mustering up one more swift kick in my direction, connecting with my forehead. Oh, goddammit. My eyelid swells to the size of a grape almost immediately. It seems like this last attack is more to spite me than to defend himself. I stumble back, readying myself for another round of blows, but he just slouches into the floor. He's done. Dennis instantly hands the rifle over to me, and I take it with shaking hands. I can't believe you stepped between me and that gun, Dennis says. He could have killed you. I was pretty sure he wouldn't, I say, although I had known no such thing. Doesn't matter. Still, thanks, man. That was some heroic stuff. You would have done the same, right? Dennis says nothing. His eyes look to the floor. What do we do now, boss? Dennis asks. We've come this far and I want answers. I sense that Dennis does too. I take a hard look at the man before I reply. We get answers from this guy. No answers, the man says. I don't have any. Next time I won't just hit you, I said, plunging the rifle towards him. Now get up. He obeys quickly, but his legs are wobbly and he leans against the wall for support. I can feel my swollen eyelid from where he kicked me earlier. I just hope that it doesn't get so bad it affects my eyesight. Okay, let's move, I say, pointing the gun further down the hallway. We've come this far and I'm not going to let this guy stop us. We walk down the hallway till we come to the end. A single elevator waits for us, its steel sliding doors larger than a normal elevator. This is kind of ridiculous to me. I would be making this dude let us out. Why do you even want to be in here? I'm going home. But I guess it wouldn't be a very interesting game if the point was just to get home and ignore what the fuck happened, so. Alright, let's go down. Presumably down, I'm guessing. Alright, ominous. get into the elevator with this guy, I think it's wise to learn a bit more about him. I can tell it's making him uncomfortable for me to have the gun. What's your name? I ask. Marcus. And you work here? It's clear that he doesn't want to answer, but he gives us a little nod. We're looking for the rest of our crew. Any idea where they might be? I ask. No, he says curtly, not bothering to elaborate. There's got to be some useful info we can get out of this guy. I just need to know how to dig for it. I need a first aid kit for my friend here, I say. Where might I find one? Down on the second floor, he says. But we can't go down there. What's on level 2? Why not? He looks at me like I'm an idiot. You must be aware you're inside of a classified government facility, he says. It makes sense, but I want to doubt it. Well, I'm sure our government would want you to help save my friend, so take me to the first aid kit. I can't, he says. You don't have clearance. Hell, I barely have clearance. Then, seemingly to himself, he mutters, I make this place run. And not even a thank you, just a bunch of restricted access rooms that I'm only allowed to go into with a frickin' chaperone. I interrupt his monologue. We're going to that first aid kit. I could lose my job, he says. I wonder for a moment what sort of trouble I could get in for hitting a government employee. This makes me glad I took it easy on him. As a government employee, I can tell you, not that much trouble. Stop pawing me. Then again, he had come at us with a rifle. It makes me think that things have gone terribly wrong in this place. If that's what makes you think that, and the explosion in the woods or whatever the hell happened might be linked to it all. You don't say. I need to convince him to take us to the second floor, but I'm not sure if it would be more productive to threaten him or ask for sympathy. People like this don't really take... I don't think people like this really have much in the way of sympathy. But any types of vulnerability they'll happily take to get opportunities to take advantage of you. As long as you're smart about providing those opportunities, you don't necessarily have to give them what they want. You don't want to threaten them. They're already looking for ways to kill you. Don't give them more incentive. So we're going to ask him for help, show our hand a little bit, but I'm going to be real careful about any decisions I make in the future. Look, I say, it hasn't been the best day. We're just trying to find out what's going on, to find our crew, to survive. I know that this isn't a normal situation down here. It looks like all your protocols have blown to hell. Can you please help us out? He looks at me sternly, weighing his options. Okay, he says. Thank you, I say. With an untrusting stare, Marcus walks to the elevator door, approaching a small keypad by the doors. He punches in a numerical code on the keypad, and we can hear a slight mechanical hum behind the steel doors. After a few seconds of angry glances and frightened sneers from Marcus, the elevator arrives. The steel doors slide open with a whisper, revealing the interior. There, was that so hard? Alright. Next. It's exceptionally well lit and looks to be made of stainless steel. I half expect the thing to take off at the speed of light. There's another small keypad on the front right panel by the door with the options for 3 sub-level floors. Looks like this elevator doesn't go to the surface. So after we get a first aid kit for Dennis, how do we get out of here, I ask. We can't leave, Marcus says. Once the power came back on, the whole place was put on lockdown. What? I shout. Can't you override it? No, it's to prevent anything from getting out. I can't. Marcus looks as deflated as Dennis. We can't get out. We're stuck here. Dennis leans into the corner and almost falls onto the floor. The struggle for the rifle took a lot out of him. I can see that much in his face. You know, can't we just go back up through the hole? Look for a ladder. Slowly, we start to move down. The hum and grind of the car's motors fill the space. Let's see. So are we stuck here forever? Marcus scowls at me. I think it's a fair question. It doesn't seem unreasonable to assume he won't be able to get us out. We'll find somebody with the access codes, and they'll be begging me to figure out how to lift the lockdown. These people think they're so brilliant, but some of them can barely turn their computers on without help. Oh God, my job. The top coder in my class at MIT, and I'm stuck living underground helping idiots who don't even trust me with keys. I don't think he's going to tell us what goes on here, but he might tell us how big the place is. It's a government facility of the highest secrecy, Marcus says. A research facility. Never mind, he's going to tell us exactly what it does. It goes 4 stories underground, and quite frankly, it scares the piss out of me that you two got in here so easily. Why is that, I ask. This is a Black Ops graveyard, he replies. Even the CIA doesn't know this place exists. Damn. We already know what his job is. Well, you know what? Let's ask him anyway. People like this love to talk about themselves. So what's your job? I handle the IT work and make sure the databases are up and running. It's a 24/7 job. I haven't seen sunlight in almost a year. I wonder what staying in a place like this for that long would do to someone's mind. Studies say it's not great. I was recruited, he continues, because of the workload. No one else wants this job. But I don't really mind being by myself. No family. Plus, the IT, it's some crazy shit. Crazy how? I ask. This place generates over 100 terabytes of data per day, he answers, getting the slightest bit excited before his face falls again. Alright, what happened here would knock the lights out. Well, he obviously doesn't know what happened here. But I'm gonna ask anyway. Maybe he'll have a guess. Seems like some sort of power outage, Marcus says. That's all I know. There was an outage, and then... Then what? Dennis asks weakly. Then things got weird. Things got bad. Bad how? I ask. The whole place seemed to shake when the lights went out. I was checking the monitors when it happened and everything went dead. Oh, God. Took no more than a minute or so before I started hearing the screams. People were being killed by... something. I tried getting the security cameras going again, but they only lasted for a little bit on my backup systems. But what I saw... What? I asked, feeling a sharp fear worm its way into my guts. But what I saw on the screens for that little bit of time made no sense. It made me get the gun from the emergency vault. Think whatever it is, it's still down here. Hold on, I say. There's an emergency vault with a rifle in the same room as the security cameras in this place. Marcus gives me a grin that looks nearly insane. There are guns locked away in every room in this place. Just in case, you know. Just in case of what? So we're still in danger here. Obviously you're still in danger here. Just in case of what? What do you think? This is a high-level government facility, just in case of people breaking in. Okay, let's see. Oh, whatever. Let him elaborate. They love to talk. As he opens his mouth to answer, the elevator comes to a stop and the doors slide open. Marcus is out right away without a word. He makes his exit and heads directly for a glassed-in room that is filled with computer monitors and high-end equipment. Dennis and I file out behind him, trying to keep up. As we do, one very alarming question runs through my head. What the hell kind of government facility keeps loaded guns and emergency vaults in every single room? Oh, we're at the end of chapter 2. Okay. Well, I feel like this guy hasn't played enough video games, obviously. Alright, let's see how we did, since this game has benchmarks. I kind of like that. I like knowing where you're at. Oh, man. Okay. You and 58% of players called out to Marcus when you saw him in the tunnel. You and 64% of players stepped in front of Dennis to protect him from Marcus. Cool, 64% of us are decent people. 65% of players were easy on Marcus after he surrendered. Okay, that's pretty nice. Alright, so we're going to cut it here because this is going on for way, way too long. 53 minutes. Whew. That might be the longest video that I've uploaded to date. But I hope that you enjoyed it. We'll come back to this next time. And maybe I'll start over next time, actually, and get my goddamn hat. I feel like that was such a big mistake. And I bet you I'm going to be feeling that mistake all the way up through to the end of the game. Alright, but thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to come back to this. Have a great day.